Oh, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. We're going back in our book, The New World Order, Chapter 19, The Freemasons. An article in the November 1946 issue of the New Age magazine, published by the Scottish writer Freemasonry, called attention to the following comment made by Andre Tardieu, a former French premier. Freemasonry does not explain everything, yet if we leave it out of the account, the history of our times is unintelligible. Perhaps the reason Mr. Trudeau said that is because of what Manly P. Hall has said about Freemasonry. He called it the most powerful organization in the world. Alice Bailey, the New Age leader, has written this about the Masonic Freemasonry. It is a far more occult organization because she was definitely in the occult, trained by Madame Blavatsky, and I got a couple who wrote The Secret Doctrine and Isis Unveiled. I still can't read those books. She wrote it in demonic possession, and it was, I still can't open them up and read those books. I still have them though. It is so Alice Bailey, her student, and she also started a publication. It was called Lucifer Trust, for books under that, and it was a magazine. Then they changed it to Lucis Trust, and Alice Bailey was one, and her husband, the one, because if you go to the United Nations in New York, they actually have a chapel in there, a satanic chapel in there, that a prayer room that Alice Bailey and her chorus, they actually sit on the meetings at the UN, these Satanists. They do. Um, so this is what she's saying. It is a far more occult organization than can be realized, and is intended to be the training school for the coming advanced occultists. And that's why when you talk about the Illuminati, when you look at Jay Z, P. Diddy, they are Freemasons. They ain't got enough money to be in the Illuminati. No, they don't. The Illuminati is 13 families, the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, so on and so forth. They're Freemasons. But just like what she said, I'm going to read it again. It is the Freemasons, it is a far more occult organization than can be realized, and it's intended to be the training school, which is what they went through, for the coming advanced occultists. I need to talk about that tattoo on Diddy's back, because that's the spirit he painted on his back. And the show worked against him. The word occult is defined as hidden, concealed, secret, and exoteric. And, and an occultist is one who believes in concealing secrets from others. The Masons, it is to be assumed, will rush in to defend themselves against such charges. Any secret, hidden, or concealed organization will have it, especially if it was discovered that their purposes were not what the average citizen believed. That is a fact. And that appears to be exactly what this order has done. The traditional explanation offered by Freemasonry as to its purpose is this one offered by Henry Clausen, a former sovereign grand commander of the Masonic order. He said, a particular system of morality, veiled in allegory and illustrated by symbols. And that's a fact. That's what, yes. Beyonce got possessed by a demonic spirit at the sushi. Yeah, well, you know what? she's a witch anyway. She is a high level witch. So yeah, she's a witch anyway. And it was stuff. Remember, her drummer came out saying that she was casting spells and all that, and the rituals and stuff that she was doing to her, stalking her. And her drummer came out. But yeah, she a witch anyway. So you right about that, sweetie. Yeah. The Masons will only admit certain individuals into their initiation ceremonies. Those qualifications are: a candidate for initiation must be a man, freeborn, unmutilated, and of mature age. There's one more requirement: they must profess a belief in a supreme being. And it don't matter what it is, because if you walk in to the Masonic Temple, the main chapter in Washington, D.C., when you walk in, they have a Kabbalah, Bible, and a Quran. And I asked one, I said, wow, why do you? Because they want you to believe in something. Because the great architect, even though they follow as you go up, the Luciferian doctrine. But let me see. W.A. Brainerd, a Mason in New London, Connecticut, gave a speech in 1825 describing the order he was a member of. He said, "What is Masonry now? It is powerful. It comprises men of rank, wealth, office, and talent, in power and out of power, and that in almost every place where power is, in every place where power is of any importance, and it compresses among other classes of the community to the lowest to largest numbers, active men united together and capable of being directed by the efforts of others, so as to have the force of concert throughout the civilized world. It is they are distributed too, with the means of knowing one another, and the means of keeping secrets, and the means of cooperating in the desk, in the legislative hall, on the bench, in every gathering of business, in peace and war, among enemies and friends, in one place as well as another. What'd you say, love? Yeah, I heard Alicia Keys was. She is. She is. I don't know if I watched Kobe's funeral. I'm gonna have to go back and check it out. I'm sure it's somewhere on YouTube. I'm gonna have to go and see and watch that. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna come back and comment because I don't remember watching his funeral. I'm not in the sports or anything like that. That's why you'll never hear me talk about it. But I'm gonna go watch his funeral now that you said that to see. I wouldn't doubt it based on her. Yeah, so powerful indeed is it at this time that it fears nothing from violence. Now, this the Freemasons, this is what he's saying. They fear nothing from violence, either public or private, for it has every means to learn it in season, to counteract, defeat, and punish it. Oh, I thought you said something. As has been discussed, members of this powerful organization have access to a secret. Included in that secret are plans for the future of the world. Facts. Facts. We're watching this play now. Trump is fighting Illuminati. Trump is fighting Freemasons. I mean, I'm just saying, it's going down. I said, I ain't never seen nothing like this. So when they say here, they mean what they say, the world. And whatever those plans are, they are kept from the average citizen. Very early in our Masonic career, we are taught that Freemasonry is a system of morality the particulars of which are veiled from what? The uninstructed and popular world by allegorical teaching. It appears to be a logical conclusion that if the Masons had another morality, and if that morality was sound and would be of benefit to all the people of the world, you would have to think that they would make it public instead of concealing it inside mysteries and allegories. One can only wonder if the reason their morality is kept secret is because their morality is not sound and of benefit for the general public. That's a fact. That would certainly explain why they want to keep it buried away from the gaze of the citizens of the world. Another Mason, George Stimulus, he wrote a book, Freemasonry, its hidden meaning, says it is the ancient symbols of Freemasonry that its real secrets be lie concealed, and those are densely veiled to the Mason as to each other. The most profound secrets of Masonry are not revealed in the lodge at all. Wow. Wow. They belong only to the few. And that's when you get to the 32nd, 33rd degree, when you get up there. So the secrets of the Masons do not belong to all of the Masons. Some Masons know, and some other Masons do not know the meanings of the secrets. But the interesting thing is that Masons who do not know are being lied to by those who do. Now that's a fact. Excuse me. Albert Pike confirmed that statement was true in his book Morals and Dogma. I got that book too. He said the blue degrees, the first 3 degrees of the 32 are the outer court of the temple. Part of the symbols are displayed there to the initiate, but he is intentionally misled by false interpretations. So the first 3 degrees, they give him false interpretations. Wow, I didn't even know that. Wow. It is not intended that he shall understand them, but it is intended that he shall imagine that he understands them. Their true explanation is reserved for the adepts, the princes of masonry. Wow. Wow. That's deep. The initiate is being lied to by his own fellow Masons. One brother is lying to another. Some of the Masons are concealing the true meaning of the secrets from other Masons, and this is the way that the powerful Masons operate. The organization that men of rank, wealth, office, and talented are joining. Pike repeated that position inside the same book. Masonry conceals its secrets from all except for the adept and the sages, or the elect, and uses false explanations and misrepresentations of its symbols to mislead those who deserve only to be misled. Wow, in their own organization. Wow. To conceal the truth which it calls light from them and to draw them away from it. Dang, that's deep. That's deep. It might be informative at this juncture to identify just another adept. Kenneth Mackenzie, a member of the Masons, he wrote the Royal Masonic Encyclopedia. He wrote adept a name given to the order of Illuminati. You can't make this up. You can't make this up. I think that's gonna be my last. My next week gonna be Trump versus Illuminati when he gave that speech to the World Economic Forum, and now that he tapping and finding all that money, they coming, they coming, they coming. That's being funneled, misled. Even Zelensky said all that money getting, he got 76 billion. He ain't even get all that money. Who got the money? Mm, I don't even know why I went there. That's my last. Okay, okay. Was Mr. Pike admitting that only the adepts, the illuminated Masons, or those who belong to both organizations know the secrets of the Masonic lodges that Lucifer was a god? That is their God. They worship the Luciferian doctrine. Manly P. Hall, who wrote lectures on ancient philosophy, he said Freemasonry is a fraternity within a fraternity, an outer organization concealing an inner brotherhood of the elect. It is necessary to establish the existence of those two separate yet interdependent orders, the one visible and the other invisible. Come on now. The visible society is a splendid camaraderie of free and accepted men enjoying to devote themselves to ethical, educational, fraternal, patriotic, and humanitarian concerns. The invisible society is a secret and most august fraternity whose members are dedicated to the service of the mysteries arcanum defined as a mystery within a mystery. Those brothers who have essayed to write the history of their craft have not included um in their disc in their what disquentations a formal discord or treatise, the story of the truly secret inner society, which is to the body of Freemasons what the heart is to the body human. Now you done said something. That's a fact. That's a fact. That is a fact. Yasu. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. Man, that's a fact. You telling the truth. Okay. Who was this? Was this man? Okay, this Manly P. Hall. He's a historian. He wrote in The Lost Keys of Freemasonry, he said, the initiated brother realizes that his so called symbols and rituals are merely blinds fabricated by the wise to perpetuate ideas incomprehensible to the average individual. He also realizes that few Masons of today know or appreciate the mystic meaning concealed within those rituals. He also realizes that few Masons of today know or appreciate the mystic meaning concealed within these rituals. Other Masonic writers, we're going to get back with Kenneth McKenzie, added, at the present day, there are many secrets not usually given, and indeed the condition of the Masonic education, except among a certain class, is very low. There are many good Masons well acquainted with the ritual and even the lectures, but they fail from what from want of taste and opportunity to grasp the the true philosophy of Freemasonry. The Masons are quick to point out that they do not tell even their more intelligent fellow Masons what the secrets are. Wow! They ask them to figure it out for themselves. But Pike says they start the process by hinting that the Masons worship something other than the God of the Bible in the first degree. Wow. So they kind of tell them the great architect, they worship another God that night. So how you a preacher and you a Freemason at the same time? That's deep. Wow. Okay. Apparently, if the Mason can figure it out for himself just who the other Masons worship, he gets to be one of them. Pike wrote in Morals and Dogma, it is for each individual Mason to discover the secret of Masonry. Masonry does not incollect her truths. She states them once and briefly, or hints them perhaps darkly, or interposes a cloud between them and eyes that would be dazzled by them. That rite, the Scottish rite, raises a corner of the veil, even if the degree of apprenticeship, the first degree of the Blue Lodge, for it there declares that Masonry is a worship. Mm. Other clues that Masonry is not a fraternity or philanthropic gentlemen who meet on a regular basis for fellowship and works of charity are contained in other parts of Pike's Morals and Dogma book. Every lodge is a temple. I didn't know that. Every lodge is a temple. Masonry is a worship. Wow, that's deep right there. That's deep. Masonry is a religious and philosophic body. Every Masonic lodge is a temple of religion, and its teachings are instructions in religion. Since Masonry claims that it is a religion, it would be helpful to the student to define the term and see if Masonry meets the requirement. That's deep. Okay. A belief in a divine power to be obeyed and worshiped as the creator and ruler of the universe. That's what a religion is defined as. Also, any system of beliefs, practices, ethical values resembling, suggestive of, or likened to such a system. By the second definitions, the Masons certainly qualify as a religion, but the Masons themselves deny that this is a religion. This view was presented in 1986 by Bill Mankin, a 32nd degree member of the Masonic Lodge, on a series of television programs concerning the Masons. The discussion was called The John Ankerman Show. Dang, I was just 20 years old in 86. Ain't that something? Yes, I was 20. Mr. Maitland said, we, the Masons, have no creed, no confession of faith in a doctrinal statement. We have no theology. We have no ritual or worship. We have no symbols that are religious in the sense of symbols found in a church or a synagogue. Our symbols are related to the development of character, of the relationship of man to man. They are working tools to be used in the building of life. The word religion is defined in another dictionary as a belief in a divine or superhuman power to be obeyed and worshiped as the creator and ruler of the universe. Two, any specific system of belief is conduct and ritual, often involving a code of ethics and a philosophy. So the definition of religion contained in either dictionary, the Masons are a religion. Wow. That can be determined by a brief review of what the Masons do. The Masons worship a God. They call him the great architect of the universe. They do. They pray to this God inside their temples. For instance, during the inter apprentice degree, the first degrees inside the Blue Lodge, the worshipful master, the equivalent of the president of the lodge, prays, Almighty Father of the universe. They believe that this God in their temples hears prayer. The same prayer in the inter apprentice degree continues, and grant that this candidate for masonry may dedicate his life to thy service. Wow. They believe that their worship inside the temple will grant them immortal life. In the pamphlet prepared by the John Ankerman Show, they quoted the Masonic Manual, which describes what the white apron worn by the Mason stands for. When I go into the founder fathers, George Washington, most of them was Masons anyway. They were, and they wore those white aprons. That's a fact. I got pictures. I got pictures. He who wears the lambskin as a badge of Masons is thereby continually reminded of purity of life and conduct, which is essentially necessary to his gaining admission into the celestial lodge above. Mm, they're more like a gang of. That's a fact. I couldn't have said that better myself. You right on. You done hit the head on the target. Yes, that's a fact. Their belief in the one God who is common to all religions. The same statements of the Grand Lodge of Maryland continues. Thus, Masonry is a great fellowship of men of all countries and ages who are capable of discovering in religious teachings of all humanity, some of them crude indeed, the fundamental truth common to them all that God is the Father of all mankind. Any student of worldwide religion is inevitably drawn to this conclusion. Every religion has a different view of God. Every religion conceives the duties and functions of their deity to be different. And some religions do not even believe in one God. Some have many gods. But there's one thing that is probably common to all religions. All possess a belief that there is a force of evil in the world. Damn. Yep. The Bible calls the force Lucifer, Satan, or the devil. Henry Clausen, the past sovereign grand commander of the Scottish Rite, told his readers in his book, Clausen's Commentaries on Morals and Dogma. He wrote, the true knowledge of our supreme deity is given. So the Masons openly state that there is only one God and that this God is somehow different than the one that is worshipped by the religions of the world. Go ahead now. If the student of Masonry will read the statement of the Grand Lodge of Maryland again with the thought that the religions of the world do not agree on the definition of their God, but do agree that there is a force of evil, the statement starts to make more sense. As As has already been illustrated in the study, the Masons consider Lucifer to be God, and that's a fact, as you said, Dawson. The Masons believe in a life after death. They believe in a celestial lodge above. The Masons believe in a place where that life continues after death. During the initiation ceremony into the first degree of the Blue Lodge, the initiate is told, I'd like to present you, brother, and whatever your name is, with this lambskin, a white leather apron, which is an emblem of innocence. Wow. He therefore who wears a lambskin as a badge of a mason is continually reminded of that purity of life and conduct which is essentially necessary to be his gaining, a mission into the celestial lodge above. That's deep. That's deep. But even with all of the contrary evidence, the Masons continue to deny that Masonry is a religion separate from any other. And to further compound the problem, the Masons continue to teach that their religion is a continuation of another ancient worship. Albert Pike wrote in his book Morals and Dogma. I'm gonna have to do Morals and Dogma. That's a good book. But this is my favorite. Ralph Epperson. I got a lot of his books. He's still alive. I might contact him, see if I can bring him on YouTube. The book he got, Hidden Hand. I keep that next to my Bible. That's so good. The Hidden Hand. Let me see. Oh, going back. Albert Park wrote, Sun, Moon, and Mercury are still the three great lights of the Masonic Lodge. The Sun, Moon, and Mercury. What, Mercury, the second planet? Yeah. Or is that the first? Mars, the third planet. Venus, Mercury. Yup, the second planet. Okay. The Sun, Moon, and Mercury are still the three great lights of the Masonic Lodge. And then he said to the reader, the three lights represent the Sun, the Moon, and Mercury. Osiris, Isis, and Horus. Because when I did secret societies, I just did the Egyptian mystery system. If you go back in my timeline, when I did the last one was the Egyptian mystery system, which is where they get a lot of their information. How they started is based off the Egyptian mystery system. So I see why they got three Osiris, Isis, and Horus, which is where the Trinity came from. But that's another subject for another day. Okay. So one of the lights inside the Masonic temple represents Osiris, the sun god. There are other connections inside the Masonic religion to the god of the Egyptians. I just said that, didn't even read it. Wow. Osiris, Adonai, Adonis, Atars, and the other sun gods had also a tomb and a religious initiation. One clothing the initiate with the skin of the white lamb, and in this we see the origin of the apron of the white sheepskin used in Masonry. It is to be remembered that the Masonic teach the true knowledge of the one supreme deity. It is possible to infer from their own words that they know just who that supreme deity is. Pike also said in Morals on Dogma, if you reflect, my brother, you will no doubt suspect that some secret meaning was concealed in those words. Mm. He also wrote, Mr. Pike stated that his book was one intended for the world at large, and a copy of the book that turned up in a used bookstore had the following phrase stamped on the cover: esoteric book for the Scottish Rite use only, to be returned upon withdrawal or death of the recipient. Wow. Did you hear? To be returned or to death to the recipient if you don't return that book. Because it was only for the initiate. Wow. So, whatever secret is contained inside his book, Pike does not want it to be known by either the public or by his fellow Masons. Albert Park also said, what is superior is as that which is inferior, and what is below is as that which is above. Sound like Aleister Crowley, don't it? To fourth, the marvels of unity. Notice that Pike capitalized the word superior, inferior, above, and below, just as one would do when capitalizing the name of a deity. It appears that any of these things that is reversed is the understanding of the nature of the deity. He said reverse. That teaching was just a few paragraphs after another statement of Pike's. Then he wrote, the conviction of all men that God is good led to a belief in a devil, the fallen Lucifer, a light bearer. Applying the principle that was taught in the last paragraph to the sentence contained above it, is it possible to see that Pike considers Lucifer to be the God that is good? Yup. And that the God of the Bible is the devil, the God of evil. Yup, that's a fact. That is what the statement about that which is below is as that which is above means. That means that God in the heavens is the God that is below, and the God who is below is the God in the heavens. Wow. So the Masons do believe in a God. It is in the fallen light bearer Lucifer. There can be no other reasonable explanation of what Mr. Pike just wrote. And that thought will continue to be developed as the study continues. Even though the Masons continue to publicly deny that their order is a religion, they say it in some of their written literature. Albert Mackey wrote in the Encyclopedia of Freemasonry, look at its ancient landmarks, its sublime ceremonies, its profound symbols and allegories, in all religions observance, and who can deny that it's eminently a religious institution, and on this ground mainly, if not alone, should the religious Masons defend it. He repeats the claim in another book, Textbook of Masonic Jurisprudence. The truth is that Masonry is undoubtedly a religious institution, its religion being of that universal kind in which all men agree. Another writer, apparently not a Mason, shed a little light on the nature of the worship of Masons. He wrote that they worship the Egyptian trinity of Isis, Horus, and Osiris. God has 72 known names and one undeniable name unknown to man. That's deep. The supreme initiation has as its sole purpose the transmission of the name, which constitutes the word. Freemasonry, in its first 3 degrees, is certainly very close to the Isaac rites. Few Masons are aware that their work within the temple is carried out under the aegis of the Egyptian Trinity. But Albert Pike Keith said Masonry is identical with the ancient mysteries. Didn't I say that? If y'all go back and check out my last secret societies, I broke down the Egyptian mystery system. But Masonry is identical with the ancient mysteries, a successor of the mysteries. Manly Hall wrote, in Masonry, the ancient religious and philosophic principles still survive. Another writer, Serpent in the Sky, and I might have to get that book. He didn't put the author, but another writer who wrote Serpent in the Sky wrote, now the wisdom of the Egyptian temple did not survive Egypt intact or in its original form, but percolated down to our day through more or less underground groups without any apparent central organization, Freemasons and others. And Henry Clausen, the past sovereign grand commander, he wrote, we look toward a transformation into a new age, using, however, the insight and wisdom of the ancient mystics. It appears that the evidence presented so far has allowed the student of Masonry to draw the following conclusions. 1. Ancient mysteries carried down to some of the worship of today worship a sun god, a veiled reference to Lucifer, the fallen angel of the Bible. The worship of the devil was concealed throughout the generations by giving him a different name. 2. There were two worships inside each sun god temple, one for the average citizen and another for those who had been initiated into the true meaning of the worship, that their God was the true Lucifer. 3. By the Masons' own admission, they too worship the God of the ancients, the sun god Lucifer, known as the devil of the Bible. 4. The Masons of today conceal the truth of whom they are worshiping from their brothers inside the lodge by intentionally lying to them. 5. And probably the overwhelming majority of the Masons today do not know the truth, which can be inferred from the fact that the Afghan Masons admit that they conceal this truth from their fellow Masons, and men of rank, wealth, office, and power continue to join. The next chapter is those who are object, and I'll do that later. I'm about to do this last video, Trump versus Illuminati. Let me see where damn, I need to know where I put the information at. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you for your comments. I appreciate my new subscribers as well. Got it. Coming right back. Trump versus Illuminati. All right. See y'all in a minute. I want to stay up and listen. Yeah, this was a great speech. I was like, they coming, Trump. Yeah.